guys, this is Inam Bukhari again from Master Capital Services Limited. This time I have a very good topic. Previously I have discussed MTF. The same hot topic is SLBM. To discuss this topic, today I have with me Mr. Sachin Kheria. He's a VP in Master Capital Services Limited in Department Sales. So we'll try to discuss in detail about the SLBM, how it works, who is the real beneficiaries, what are the pros and cons, what are the implications of tax, what are the implications in dividends, corporate actions. So let's start. Hi Sachin.
Hi, sir. Thank you, Inam, for your kind words.
So Sachin, we have just curated few questions to discuss in this session. Just tell me, what do you think about SLBM?
So, before starting with it, I would want to say a bit about SLBM as a product, what it is all about for our viewers. So, SLBM, as the word denotes, is securities lending and borrowing mechanism.
Yes.
This is not a new product. It is more than a decade old product. In
Yes,
fact,
of
more than
course.
15 years
Yes.
back, exchanges
Yes.
introduced this with regulators, and it is about lending your ideal shares which you hold in your portfolio, which you don't intend to sell in the near future,
Yes.
and make some extra money out of it. It is
Yes.
just as if you have a home and it is lying vacant,
Yes.
and then you suddenly
Yes.
think, no, why shouldn't I rent it out and have some rental income which is month on month?
Yes.
Similarly, it is about SLBM, where a client investor who might be holding some shares in his portfolio, and he does not intend to sell that particular share. Just like a person giving house on rent does not intend to sell his
Yeah,
house.
it's very much clear from the word lending. Here we are lending the
Exactly.
securities.
So, like the house which is on rent is not sold, but is put on rent
Yes.
for a recurring monthly income. Similarly, a portfolio consisting of shares are lent to a borrower
Yes.
for a fixed fee which is determined beforehand, and or a fixed time frame. So the lender would lend his shares. After a fixed time frame, the shares would come back, and for lending he'll get a fixed rate of fee. You can say it rent, you can say it income. The counterparty would be borrower, and the borrower would be borrowing shares which he does not have. He might have certain requirements for which he is borrowing, which we will take it up in our subsequent questions. So
that means the borrower has the main purpose. If the borrower exists, then the lender will come into picture.
that's great. So you got it right, that the requirement comes first from borrower, and then the lender fulfills it. Whosoever has, whosoever is able to fulfill those requirements. So obviously, like a transaction which an exchange happens between two people, there has to be a buyer, there has to be a seller, and there has to be a price on which both are okay to trade.
Okay.
Similarly, in SLBM, there has to be a borrower, there has to be a lender, and they both should be able to arrive at a price where they are willing to transact.
So you have explained very clearly, but can you tell me situation in which borrowers needs these shares?
So borrower can need on multiple fronts. Now, for example, it could be pure speculative. So there is, how do we make money in equity markets? We buy cheap and sell when price moves up, or we have a alternate view that the price are already very high.
The borrower
and-
has the news.
And no, I won't say news, but borrower might think that price are high if he sells at a higher price and covers at a lower price, and pocket the money of the difference. But intraday, if he's opting cash market, he has to cover same day if he's not holding the shares.
Yes.
And there are many shares who are not in derivative markets.
Yes.
So here SLBM fills that one gap where he can borrow a particular share which is not in derivatives, and he can sell after borrowing and sell, and within the time frame of that contract he would buy at a lower price if his call goes right.
Yes.
And then he pocket the money, pays up the fee, and net of fee he makes income. That is one case. Second case could be reverse arbitrage opportunity. Supposing the cash market is quoting higher than future market.
Yes.
Generally, future market trades higher than the cash market. So, supposing it's the share of NTPC. trading at 350 cash market spot and 340 on futures. So he'll borrow, he'll sell at 350, buy futures. At the end of the expiry, you would understand that both future and cash market would merge to zero. So he'll have a neat 10 rupees profit. So that is one case, that is reverse arbitrage. The third case would arise if supposing he has short some shares in intraday and he was not able to cover for reason, let's say this share went into a circuit, upper circuit. Now, to avoid obligation or to avoid the penalty through auction, he can borrow. This is a very good option through the SLBM market, and he could fulfill his obligation. Yes. Now, more prevalent after physical share settlements. Yes. During the expiries. This is more prevalent. Yes. Now, so this is again one use case which is now the players are being more active in SLBM. Actually, nobody knows the exact closing settlement price. Yes. And because of one tick size, your outstanding unsquared of positions may convert into short delivery. Yes. So once you get to know that, now you have to give some delivery because your futures went in the money and got expired. So obviously, you would need those, and if you are not holding those shares, yes, then you would have SLBM segment where you can borrow those shares and lend. Very good point of this market is this market opens till 5 p.m. That is one good point. Yes, you will have the idea of short selling by 3:30, max by 3:45, and you can take decision. You can connect with the fair point. An investor, not only investor, being an RM, being a salesperson, we can suggest our client to cover the loss. So I think Exchange has very well curated this product, yes, and they have intentionally yes, had this was the intent of the SEBI on the draft paper. Right. Yes. That's great. So again, in one word, if you define SLBM, what would you say? So it is a passive income for a portfolio which is intended to be held for a long term in perspective of lender. In perspective of borrower, we have understood in more detail. We both have interacted just now. If you ask me to tell, then I'll just say one word. Please. उधार में देना और उधार लेना, लेंड करना अपने शेयर्स जो मैंने लंबे लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए रखे हुए थे, नॉट इन एवरी केसेस, इन शॉर्ट टर्म में भी आप वी कैन थिंक, बट अगर मेरे लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए कुछ शेयर्स है और वो मेरा आइडियल है, वो उस पर मैं कहीं पे मार्जिन फंडिंग यूज नहीं कर रहा हूँ, ऑलरेडी कहीं पे यूज नहीं कर रहा हूँ, वो शेयर मेरा आइडियल पड़ा हुआ है और मैं उससे इनकम कमाना चाहता हूँ और कोई उधार लेने को तैयार है तो मैं उधार देने को तैयार बैठा हूँ. So I take that example very well, and in fact the beauty of this product is that you sometimes get the rental yield so high, yes, that the annualized yield go beyond 10%, yes, 12%. Yes. कभी कभी मैंने कहा आपको वो yield आधा % 1% से ज़्यादा की जगह किसी किसी केसेस में 1.25 1.5% भी हो जाता है. We have seen recently those cases on exchanges. Yes. अगर मैं ये कहूँ कि ट्रेडिंग तो है, नॉर्मल ट्रेडिंग से क्या डिफरेंस है इसमें? I think that इसमें भी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नोट जनरेट होता है, इसमें भी डेबिट क्रेडिट होता है, तो क्या अगर बोरोवर के पर्सपेक्टिव से बताएंगे तो बोरोवर को क्या क्या करना पड़ता है? So I think that नॉर्मल ट्रेडिंग से ये कुछ बहुत हटके भी है and कुछ related भी है. When I look at in terms of borrower, I see a lot of activity going in his mind. उसको reverse arbitrage करना है, उसको auction settlement करना है, उसको speculate करना है with a security which he sees that might go down, और वो derivatives में उसको नहीं मिल रहा है, या फिर उसको derivatives में because of let's say he might have his own reasons to enter into cash market for that particular thing. But when I look at the lender, I see that it is a bit different than a normal trading. In normal trading, if he intends to sell again NTPC for our example, the moment he sells, he makes sure that he's parting away with those shares with that particular trade, that he's either booking losses or he's booking profits, and probably उस वक्त उसको दोबारा उस काउंटर में घुसना नहीं है. बट व्हेन वो SLBM में वो ट्रांजैक्शन को एंटर करता है तो ही इज वेरी श्योर दैट आई एम लेंडिंग इट फॉर अ डिफाइंड पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, आई वांट इट बैक इन माय DP एंड आई डोंट वांट टू बुक द प्राइस, बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली जिस समय उन्होंने लेंड किया होगा हो सकता है उस दिन 350 का भाव, 2 दिन के बाद वो 340 हो जाए, 6 दिन के बाद दोबारा 352 हो जाए. He's not bothered about that price movement. He's bothered about the rental income which is getting for that particular share. For this matter, for example, अगर वो 10 रुपए होता है या 8 रुपए per share होता है, this is what it matters to him. But if he's entering into a trade that he's booking that particular NTPC at 350 or 345, in this he's not booking it. He understands that there would be price fluctuation and this share would finally land up into his TP.
But if you have a second thought, if you see opportunity, like you have lent your share, you as an investor, you have lent your shares, and after lending, you realize that there is a opportunity coming in that shares, and the price is going to appreciate. Do you have any options in SLBM to reverse it?
So that is the beauty. As I said, that the exchanges, the product makers have made it so beautifully that they have took care of every nuances. For example, in this particular case, supposing the guy has lent these shares at 350 and now he sees that no, after 5 days the price moves to 385 and this is what he was expecting. Let's say down the line 6 months, or let's say it moves to 390 for that matter, or 400, which he was expecting not immediately, but maybe 6 7 months down the line, or let's say a year down the line. He could recall his shares. He could enter into a reverse leg. In this particular case, since he's already lent, he would behave like a borrower, only with a flexibility of that he would not have to
He has
give
to
out
early
more
recall it.
margins. Yes, and he would quote a price. And again, if there is a matching, the shares come back to his DP and he's free to sell.
That means what he has earned as in a form of yield, in a form of rent, he may have to lose part of it.
Part of it. So,
Yes.
for example, he lent at
It's
6
very
rupees.
rational. It's very rational.
Let's say he lent at 6, but there could always be risk. Supposing he lent at 6, एक हफ्ते के बाद it might be quoting at 8 rupees, or it could be quoting at 4 rupees or 3.5 rupees. So if it is higher, he might have to give additional 2 rupees, but he would see that 35 rupees मैं कमा रहा हूँ, and 2 रुपए दे के मैं फिर भी 33 rupees I can net. The price movement which he want to capture, that could always be done. Yes.
So for borrowers, we have talked much about the lenders. Not talk about the borrowers.
Yes.
They are the actual need creator.
Hmm.
Okay. Lender are like the person waiting for the opportunity, and the borrower is making the opportunity. So, what kind of margins? How much borrower has to spend to borrow a share? Is this equivalent to normal share purchase or something more than that?
So, Inam, I would say the question is very rightly said. So, for borrower, the requirement of the margin is 125%. In our example, like it was NTPC, अगर borrower को 1 लाख रुपए का NTPC borrow करना है तो उसके पास 125%, that is 1,25,000 margin उसके पास
In
होना
most of the
चाहिए.
cases, it is 125%.
So by this I mean that 1 लाख तो security value जो वो 100% the security value which is buying, this case 1 लाख रुपया plus 25% additional margin which he has to maintain, or he or she has to maintain any point in time till the time the contract is open.
Yes.
But ideally it looks like 125%, but the moment the shares are in his DP, you can easily sell the value of 1 lakh. So ideally 125% ही वो block रह जाता है.
Yes. Actually, the cost is 25% because the 100% for 100% client has already got the shares. Yes.
So I was coming back to the lenders. जब भी हम लोग lenders possible lenders को हम approach करते हैं तो they always come up with कि what are the safety nets, what if हमारे shares वापस नहीं आए, इसमें कोई default कर गया तो. So the regulators, exchanges, the clearing corporation have made the product so very well. जैसे cash market में defaults are very very rare, and even if I mean
Yes.
the repercussions of the defaults are very very rare. The exchanges have ensured that the buyer or seller are the contracts are being honored. Similarly over here, I'll take one by one. the borrower, apart from the margin which he has to maintain, he also has to maintain the mark to mark. So it reduces further risk of a position going out of the risk kind of scenarios. Again, if for some reason borrower is unable to fulfill his obligation to the lender, that is on the day when the contract was to be delivered back, if he's not able to do it, exchanges, just like in cash market they do it, they would
carry an auction.
they'll do the auction market, and from auction they would deliver the shares to the lender. Rarest of the rare cases, as we see also in cash market, if they are not able to procure those shares from the auction market, the lender would get the sale value of the fee plus the penalty which being levied on the borrower, which is called closeout. For any vibrant capital markets to thrive,
Yes.
you have to ensure
Sense of
the
security is important.
you have to ensure the participants, whether the person who is raising money from the capital market for to the person who is subscribing to those products,
Yes.
they need to be ensured that they are on safe hands. There are some rules and regulations to take care of unforeseen events. So similarly, SLBM is a product where the capital market regulators, the intermediaries, have ensured a number of measures to make it more attractive and make it more safe, just like any other product being traded in the market.
So, okay, we have fairly discussed about the lender, borrowers, processes. Is there any impact of corporate actions?
Yes. So this is one thing. Again, the developers of the product have taken care of. So there are two series, Series A and Series B. Under both series, whatsoever shares are eligible for SLBM, the approved list of the SLBM shares list. So each share have 12 contracts available under both series, Series A and Series B. Under Series A, any corporate action, any AGM, EGM being held would result into foreclosure of the contract. For example, there was an ongoing contract of lending, borrowing of August series for that matter of NTPC, and suddenly there is a corporate action announced, which happens to be lying between the contract period.
In
So
mid
it
of
would,
the contract.
yes. So it would be foreclosed before the event. So this is Series A, and therefore you would find a lot of not very high liquidity in Series A. Okay. Now coming back to Series B, in this also there are foreclosures in the event of corporate action, but they exclude events like AGM, EGM plus dividend and stock split. Apart from it, all other corporate actions just like buyback, bonus issue, or any other corporate action
That has to be done.
that would result into foreclosure
Contract
of the
has to close.
yes. In case of dividend, the after X date, the borrower would be debited. The clearing corporation would recover the dividend from the borrower and give to the lender,
Yes,
to
the
whom the
borrower
shares
will
belong.
get the directly the credit amount, dividend amount from the company, and later on subsequently to
The clearing corporation would debit the borrower and
yes.
credit the lender.
Yes.
Similarly, in case of stock split, it would not, the contract would not be foreclosed. For example, there is a stock split announced of 1:10.
Yes.
So 100 NTPC के सामने 1000 NTPC एक्स्ट्रा आ गया, तो वो 1000 NTPC
ही मिलेगी वापस उसे
1000 प्लस जो
हजार
जो
टोटल
टोटल
the
1000
new quantity will get
sorry, तो वो 1000 NTPC would come back to the borrower, lender. Yeah.
That is very safe, that is very fair, because dividend में लोग परेशान होते हैं क्या
All the
होगा
voting
मेरा
rights, all the share rights remain with the lender. So again, it is one thing which makes it more appealing a product. You would see that largely the players, the big players on the lending side, are insurance companies, mutual funds, banks, and high HNI individuals who tend to keep these shares for long term, and they would be more than willing to have the extra yield on their lying portfolio, which they don't intend to sell.
We have clarified many doubts, and now we are in the position to tell the investors how to start SLBM lending, especially in Master Capital Services Limited? Is it DIY? Client can do itself?
Yes, that is what we have come up with, a paperless activation of SLBM segment, like many other segments which we have been very actively doing it. We already have a single point portal where uh, most of the segment activation is done paperless. So we have SLBM as well on single point portal where the client could log in, mention his details, and with an e-sign, that particular segment is being
Client
active.
has to follow the process.
So we have a central team out there in this company, and as you could see in the industry, we don't have SLBM
Yes.
at client level screen based trading. Even no, all the major broking houses have a central team where the client calls up. He gives his requirement to the desk, and that desk executes the trade basis the directions of the client, looking at the margins. We have discussed about the margin requirements of borrowers. In case of lenders, also there are margin requirements. Either the shares has to be early paid in for before entering into the contract, or sufficient margins are maintained to avoid penalties. So, but those are that is only applicable for a single day.
So before investing, I need to be informed about the shares, because I am going to borrow a share from a lender, and after 2 days there is a bonus. So I have to give it.
So I get your point. So
Yes.
obviously the borrower has to make a
Yes.
informed decision.
Yes.
Obviously,
But
but
of course, but of
there could be
course,
something come between. So it has a 12 months. Let's say a borrower has entered. Today is October, and he enters into a contract of December for that matter, and something can happen between this
but
60 days.
even though in some cases this is like a boon for the borrowers, because today I have a short position in cash segment, and if I am not able to give that shares by tomorrow by 8 p.m., then I have to bear the loss of 20% at least in auction. So I need only 1 day time. I need share tomorrow, and I can purchase the shares also tomorrow. So if I purchase share tomorrow, I cannot get the shares tomorrow. I'll get the shares day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
So to get the shares, to make the shares availability tomorrow, I need it today. I need the to enter into borrowing contract today, so that I can get it by tomorrow,
Right.
before the normal market payout
Right.
shares. So this is like a very big thing for the borrower.
Yes, exactly. Coming back to the basics of SLBM, as you said earlier, also the markets are from 9:15 to 5 o'clock. The expiries are on the first Tuesday of every month. If that happens to be in holiday, it will be next working day. For instance, अगर अक्टूबर की एक्सपायरी हमें देखनी है, तो अक्टूबर का एक्सपायरी फर्स्ट ट्यूसडे ऑफ एक्सपायरी ऑफ दैट मंथ वुड हैपन. एक बार में 12 कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स होते हैं, सीरीज ए सीरीज बी दोनों में. फॉर आर रेफरेंस वी लुक मोर एट सीरीज बी वेयर देयर इज अ हाई लिक्विडिटी, एंड देयर आर 2 रोल ओवर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स अवेलेबल. दैट इज, अगर मेरे पास आज मैं सितंबर में हूँ, तो ऑब्वियसली मेरे पास फर्स्ट ट्यूसडे ऑफ सितंबर इज ऑलरेडी नो बिहाइंड अस. सो मैं अक्टूबर से नवंबर एक रोल ओवर ऑप्शन, और अक्टूबर से दिसंबर दूसरा रोल ओवर ऑप्शन है. तो किसी भी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में 2 रोल ओवर ऑप्शंस एट एनी पॉइंट तक रहते हैं. आप मैक्सिमम 1 साल तक किसी भी स्क्रिप्ट में रोल ओवर कर सकते हैं, उसके बियॉन्ड नहीं कर सकते.
Apart from this, as you already mentioned in our previous talk, like Series B is more preferred because there is a benefit in corporate action with respect to dividend and split.
Stock split and normal EGM, where
Normal AGM,
that it is not foreclosed.
contracts are not forcefully closed.
Right.
Uh, uh, if we take position in Series A, that will be the part of
Foreclosure.
Foreclosure. Yes.
Yeah.
So we cannot predict that when the corporate action is coming or not.
Again, Series B was outcome of the problem executions, which probably large institutions faced when
Yes.
they acted on the lending
Yes.
side.
That is why they have
Because
later introduced this shares.
they probably exchange have taken note of those
Yes.
the problems, and that then Series B was introduced to take care of the prevailing problems
Yes.
in Series A.
This is a kind of involvement of
Yes,
SLBM.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
So we have discussed about the benefit of to borrowers, benefit of lenders, and we have also discussed that some benefits are very crucial. Like I have a strategy and I want to make a strategy. I can delay my strategy for one day. But if I have a short position today because of any reason, in that situation, shared lending and borrowing is a very big
Yes,
like
that is a blessing in that case.
savior of
Yes.
us.
So for physical settlement of in cases of physical settlement in derivative contracts, plus in auction share short which has not been able to be covered, these have been very
Yes.
fruitful.
Apart from the derivative contracts, the list is very vast. Every month, uh, stock market NSE clearing releases the list of SLBM. As per the if you say the broad policy, the group one shares are only allowed, but there are some rules of SLBM of like volume, number of days traded. On that basis, they further shorten the list from group one to
They have
approved list.
filtered many.
Yes,
So largely for our viewers, these scripts are both largely all these scripts of derivatives are there in SLBM approved list.
around
Plus
7 to 8 hundreds.
there would be non-derivative scripts as well and few ETFs as well. So this all combined
Yes,
becomes the eligibility of the list of
yes.
uh,
It gets revised every month.
yes, yes, it does.
If there is a corporation that's even if it is in list, but the contract will not be available.
Right.
So we have not discussed about the NRI till now.
NRIs are
So are they allowed?
yes, they are allowed to participate in SLPM.
So they can borrow, but
Right.
they have to mention the reason why they want to borrow, because generally NRIs are not allowed to do short sales. So we can let the NRI borrow the shares, but they have to explain the reason to us.
Okay.
Yes.
We can touch upon the taxation part.
Yes.
That is more important. So for everybody's consumption, the SLBM segment does not the exchange do not charge turnover tax. Government does not charge security transaction
Win-win
tax,
situation.
stamp duty, and SEBI does not charge SEBI fee, SEBI turnover tax. So all these are not prevailing in this particular transaction of SLBM. So one benefit is this. The second benefit is that the shares of lender which go out of his DP for that particular point in time for which he has lent, they come back to his DP, and therefore there is no capital gain tax structure in this particular transaction. So the only income he gets from the lending fee is treated as his normal income, and it is charged accordingly. So there is no capital gain tax. Yes, one point, in extreme cases where the borrower default and auction market में भी वो शेयर फुलफिल नहीं हो पाया और वो क्लोज आउट हुआ है, तो सिर्फ उसी केसेस में आपको कैपिटल गेन टैक्स would be applicable for if in case it is
Yes.
it is
Yes.
there
Yes. Yes.
for the lender. Otherwise there is no chance of any capital gain tax. That is
So
the structure of
there is
taxation.
lots of plus points to the lender. Like lender will get back the dividend. Lender
Low
will
risk, there is low risk of
low, yes. And you talked about the taxation part. These are the plus points apart from earning the yield.
yes. Plus, the system is so transparent that the borrowers as a lender could visit NSE website under SLBM link, that is security lending borrowing link. They can see for themselves the quotations of the scripts both at the buying and both for the buying and for the lending, borrowing and the lending, and that is from there they could look upon what opportunities they might have for that their holdings within their holdings, and basis what they view for a long term holding of theirs, they could always participate in the market for the available opportunity.
Since you directly monitors the stock lending and borrowing in our company, what kind of companies having good liquidity in SLBM?
So,
Is it a large cap, a small cap, or something else?
so I see it is not particularly related to any well, obviously
This
you,
is related to the corporate action. I'm
but no, not corporate action, but I see a lot of movement. You would ideally see a lot of volatility in mid caps for
yes.
that matter. So you might expect little high yield on uh, the mid cap space. But yes, there are instances in past where the activity in a particular counter was very intense. I'll take example of for example, Yes Bank when it was falling very steeply
Yes.
because of the
Yes.
news whatsoever. So there, at one point in time, there was a stage wherein a 40 rupee share, or let's say a 45 rupee share, was giving a rental yield of not rental yield, a rent of 5 or 6 rupees per share. So the expectation of it falling was so grave that borrowers were willing to pay 5-7 rupees on a 40 rupee share.
Yes.
So that was
I'm seeing
the
one more thing to tap this. Like since from 9:15 to 3:30, you have a window. In that window, you can see a good share went in circuit,
okay.
and that share is eligible for in the list of SLBM. Now there must be a client whose position is in short side. So if that client has knowledge of SLBM, that client can borrow, can take use of this, or being a salesperson, we can find that types of clients.
So obviously, you rightly said that we could give him a remedial measure of him being able to take care
Because
of that
there
particular.
is no restriction of lot. Even one quantity can be lended
Yes,
and borrowed.
yes. True.
So today we have learned a lot from each other, and we have tried to give some insight about of SLBM to our investors at large. If they find any good in this video, requested to subscribe this for more upcoming videos.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Nam. It's a
Thanks.
great interacting with you today. So this was all about SLBM, which we discussed today. And if you have any other query regarding the product, you can contact us. And for many other products and services, do follow us on our social media platforms. Thank you.